I haven't prepared anyone for this, but yeah, me and Mo are in Delphi, Indiana.
Yep.
And we're going to stumble our way through a little tour of the town. This is a small ass town. Just saying. Well, maybe not ass.
Well, it's the Midwest. Our asses are a little bigger.
Yeah, so for you who don't know, this is the place of the Delphi murders. Two young girls, according to the prosecution, brutally murdered. According to the defense, brutally ritualistic murdered.
Yes, and I mean, you guys, this is a small town. It has maybe 2 stoplights.
Yeah.
This is a town that lulls you into a sense of, yeah, my kids can go out hiking. I have girls about the same age. If I lived in this town, I'd be fine with them going out as long as they had their cell phones.
Yeah.
And I think people misconstrue those of us who maybe see some hinky things in this case with not wanting justice for Abby and Libby, but that's absolutely not the case.
No, I mean, justice for Abby and Libby, a flawed system does not bring justice for anyone. On the contrary, if the flawed system convicts the wrong person, it only means that there are killers out there.
And just to give you guys kind of a sense, the courthouse is literally maybe a 3-minute walk away from the jail.
Yeah.
And then going down driving, it's about 3 minutes away from the CVS where Richard Allen worked.
Yeah, and this bridge is not that far off.
No. Now, neither Nick and I will be attempting to get our crippled behinds over that bridge.
No, definitely not.
Look, I don't want to have to explain to Sweden what had happened to their, labor lawyer.
Yeah, no, we are not going out walking the streams and into the woods. I mean, there's a pavement here and a sidewalk, and that's challenging enough. And
so that squat brown building with all of the air conditionings, that is the prison/jail. So
okay.
That would be where the United Task Force set up.
Yeah, behind the gas station.
Yeah, so that little squat building with the kind of tiles on the top. And then, I kid you guys not, 3 minutes down the road is the CVS and the McDonald's. And if you're telling me that no one from the United Task Force ever went to CVS or McDonald's,
yeah,
and didn't get an inkling of, this guy looks suspicious.
Yeah.
Then
Hey, I didn't know that feature. Hey, oh, I have the chat is going. Hello.
Oh.
Hello, folks.
Hello.
Hello.
We're fumbling along. You know us. We don't know what we're doing.
Yeah. I mean,
Nick and Mo in real life. There's a bar somewhere.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah. I think what's the politically correct term?
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans, yeah. And so we're the crime solving duo that will do 3 miles an hour top speed.
Hey, that's faster than the United Task Force works.
Yeah.
Hey, we're crippled and slow, but we'll get there eventually.
We will get there eventually. Yeah, so we are here checking out Delphi, Indiana, because, I mean, I've covered the case for obvious reasons. It caught my attention with the first Frank's motion. You can go back to, we have a 5-part series together from last year. If you just want, okay, what's the basics?
And I read the entire Frank's motion. Because I will admit, when I first heard about what was in the Frank's motion, I was like, man, bear, pig, seriously, guys? But as you read or listen to me read the Frank's motion, they pull everything directly from discovery.
Yeah.
And the more that comes out about this case, the more you wonder what is going on in this investigation.
Yeah. I mean, it's a seriously flawed investigation. And then Judge Gull comes around and makes it worse.
having such a horrible murder.
Yeah.
And what was fed to the public was a whole lot of nothing. And
Yeah.
the state didn't want a bunch of conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
They didn't give us anything to work with. They pulled out the wrong sketch, then said, this guy's the other one.
Yeah.
So this is the Carroll County Sheriff's Office.
Okay. Yeah.
See how it's, much too inconvenient to keep a prisoner in here for his
Yeah.
court over there. Because
Yeah, I mean, there is literally a 2-minute walk for
And then-
us from the jail.
if we walk just 2 more minutes, we can be at the CVS.
Yeah. We might have to call an Uber back though.
Well, I have been walking in preparation. Been using my walking pad.
Let's see if anybody says. Try to read the chats. Hello, Valhalla. Look at these schmexy dishes. Yep. Yep.
We try.
Yeah.
We try.
Now, I can't do anything about sound. Just so you know, it's on my phone, and I have this stabilizer thing handheld, and as you can see, it works really great. Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah, but the saddest thing for me has to be that, this is a town very much like the town I live in.
Yeah,
And it gives you that false sense being in this small town, being in this safe community that you can let your kids go through and do what they want and nothing's going to happen. And it ripped away a lot of sense of security for every parent in the entire state.
yeah,
And, having girls about the same age at the time that this happened to Abby and Libby, it really struck a chord with me. And to not see it solved and then to see this as I've grown in trial coverage and understanding how investigations should work,
yeah,
it's just been heartbreaking all over again
Yeah.
to see how this happened.
yeah. I mean, for instance, the first image everybody was looking at back in 2017. Remember, that guy was completely removed from the investigation
Yeah.
for years, and they brought up that younger image, and then all of a sudden now everybody said, "Ooh, I recognize Mr. Allen from that picture and that." Yeah, but remember, that person on that image.
Was not even seen by the person. So that was seen by another person that
Yeah.
was driving by, I think 30 miles an hour,
Yeah.
out of the PT Cruiser or
Oh, speaking of PT Cruiser, I saw one yesterday.
Dang it,
A
I want
PT
one.
Cruiser convertible.
oh my gosh, it sounds like my dream car, which is why I'm not allowed to pick cars. And here is the CVS.
Yeah.
I kid you guys not.
Yeah.
This is where Richard Allen worked as a manager.
Yeah.
You can see the jail.
Yeah. There's the CVS. There's the jail. And another 2 minutes, there's the courthouse.
Yeah.
And
You're telling me that the United Task Force never went to CVS, never said, because y'all know my ridiculous behind would be going up to every male person I know and saying, I'm going to need you to say, go down the hill
yeah.
in my recorder.
Yeah.
But you're telling me that the Mensa members didn't put 2 and 2 together?
No, absolutely not. That would be work.
Well, true.
Yeah.
It just took 7 years.
Yeah. Also, this Mr. Allen. I mean, he was unknown.
He was unknown. And then
Yeah. He was walking about doing his job as everybody else. People saw him and heard him on a daily basis, and not one.
ID'd him as anyone that they would think. And remember his body style
Yeah.
before he was arrested and during the time of the crimes. This is a physically intensive crime scene.
Yeah.
You have to, control 2 girls, keep them from screaming out, shouting out. We'll go by the new Monon trails that are handy capable for us.
Yay.
But you have to keep two girls quiet in a public place during broad daylight, attack one, keep the other one restrained, undress them, redress them. I mean, this in no way, I think, can be a single person crime, but...
No, and I listened to Sean reading from the last motion, and the thing is, apparently, let's walk back up.
All right, we're getting our steps in, cardio.
Yeah.
Working on our summer body for next millennia.
Beach ready or beach whale ready. One of them. And
it's the year 2024. Shame died.
Now, but as it's described, and this is, remember, all of this in the Frank's motions are in the discovery, all of it. And the investigators and FBI agent, I don't remember the names, talk about the crime scene indicates a group of between 2 and 6 people. And then you have this 5'4", 220 something, I mean, spherical guy is supposed to have, whose biggest accomplishment in running is to the fridge.
Well, yeah. He's Midwestern with a side of brains. We go them fluffy and corn-fed here.
Yeah. And there's so much that simply does not add up.
Yes.
And at the same time, you have a group of should-be suspects who lied about where they were, lied about how they knew the girls. Their phones were never collected or went through, but for some odd reason, these persons of interest, all of them, all information for the first 70 days are gone.
And I think that's the biggest betrayal I felt, was 3 days after when they were telling us they knew nothing, but they would find this person, and to know that they had suspects 3 days after.
Yeah.
And it could have been a nothing burger. Yeah. But they didn't even investigate.
Yeah, they didn't even check.
So when they were telling us, when the Indiana State Police, when the investigators were sitting there year after year saying, we are reading no stone unturned, I believed them because, well, I had faith in people before.
Yeah, you should believe. When cops go out and say, and the police chief goes out and say, we are turning every stone, we are doing everything we can, then you should believe them.
And that's the biggest betrayal, I think, to the family as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And I don't know that the family has been informed of all of these things. They're also on a gag order, which is, from what my appellate friend Cara Winnicky says, is absolutely unusual in the state of Indiana.
Yeah, I mean, anywhere, you cannot really put a gag order on family like that.
Yeah, you would think not, but they did.
Yeah.
It's just so many things being done in the dark. The judge seems obviously biased against the defense, so I don't know if Rosie one time clerked for her and misspelled her name as Yule, which I would do.
Oh, definitely.
Or, maybe called her a see you next Tuesday.
There's a lot of 4-letter words you can call your gull besides gull.
Well, honorable is...
Honorable, we can remove that one immediately.
That's the one that chokes in my throat.
Oh, look, a liquor store. That has nothing to do with the crime. I'm just spotting a liquor store.
Well, it is the Midwest. You'll find vape stores and liquor stores abound. Possibly an airbrush t-shirt store, too.
Okay, where are we headed next?
Well, do you want to go to the Monon Trail?
Yeah.
Okay.
Should we walk or drive?
I was thinking drive because I think it's on the further end.
Yeah.
I wonder what's going on today that we have a broadcasting truck.
Is it a hearing today? No, not in this court.
Not in this court because he's in Allen County.
Yeah, that's Allen County. Yeah.
But Delphi is the county seat, so that's why they have the courthouse. It's still only a town of about 1,200 people. So it's not a big town.
Yeah, I mean, we, during this stream, from courthouse down to CVS, two cripples walked from the center of the city to the outskirts of the town in less than 5 minutes.
Delphi Tourism Board, cripple approved.
And yes, we are allowed to say cripples because we are.
Yeah,
The rest,
a pass.
Yeah.
We have a Jimmy pass. Not a Timmy pass, but a Jimmy pass.
yeah.
And
You-
then my mom's like, I'm disowning you.
I mean, the rest of you call us hard of walking, hard of thinking, hard of shutting the dam up.
Well, I've been called crank a couple times because of my. I was like, no, I think you misspelled thank you. And Nick survived a night at my house. We have space, not peace.
Yeah,
My youngest, most feral, decided to do stealth moves this morning to be loudly quiet, but he had to add his own theme music. So he was like, dun da da da, dun da da da.
yeah. I mean, but he was very stealthy because he's seen how stealthy he is in the movies, and you get it dun da dun dun da.
So he might not be playing Assassin's Creed anytime soon.
No, but I had to say, at least my parents told me that I didn't learn how to whisper until I was 15, 16 or something. So me at 4 years old, sneaking up to my father, up to his ear because I wanted to tell him a secret and almost blew out his eardrums. Dad, I have a secret! I mean,
So everyone who wants to be adopted into Mo's house, we have space, but it's loud and crazy. And you will get aggressively friendly, talked to about roadblocks.
oh, a pizzeria, family market.
Yeah, it's just a small town
Yeah.
that you would drive through. It's not a place that you would imagine that two girls would be ripped from their families
No, exactly.
in such a terrible, horrifying way. And I know there are pictures out there, but I couldn't see them. And
Yeah. No, you don't want to. I mean,
I don't.
sadly, I have, and it's it's really bad. It's really
I'll
bad.
imagine those girls as the beautiful souls that they were.
Yeah.
And that's my secret terror about still being aligned for jury duty the rest of this year.
Yeah.
Because I can deal with a lot, but give me a kid case and I will talk about jury nullification.
Yeah. After you get the jury instruction at the end of the trial, does anyone have any questions? Yes. What's jury nullification?
I heard something from Daryl Brooks about I have the power. Could you explain that to me real quick and in great detail? But it's just a nice, small, friendly
Yeah.
town. I mean, it's just like my
Yeah.
town.
Over there's the church. I mean,
And there are multiple churches. It is the Midwest.
Yeah.
We've got like 94,000 of them.
yeah. And I mean, just so you know, during this stream, we have walked from the center to the outskirts, into center again, and now we're on the outskirts again.
Yeah.
More or less.
Yeah, I mean, I got Dingus from Delphi, and we drove around the town, and I told my husband that I needed to take Nick here because you don't quite get, if you're spatially unaware like me, unless you actually see things, you're very confused about how far things are from us.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really small place. There's a railroad, there's a couple of churches, there's food, there's a bank, there's a courthouse.
Yeah.
That's more or less it.
This is where they would have been dropped off.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. This is the parking space.
And you're
Well-
right next to the freeway. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, let's see. Oh, there is the freeway.
yeah.
It's really close.
It's really close. If you're, someone that comes here often, this would not be. I just don't understand. Even if you don't go with the odiness,
Yeah.
you are so close to Indiana is the major crossroads of Indiana. It's called the America.
Yeah.
We've got I-70, 65.
Yeah.
It's not unheard of that truckers do bad things. Some truckers do bad things.
Yeah.
Most truckers are great and keep us safe on the road.
Now let's see. Here's a welcome. Yeah, okay. Here is, let's see if you can see it, the entirety of Delphi, Indiana. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, it's a small town that you might go to like a bed and breakfast to walk the trail.
Yeah.
To, see some of the historic landmarks. I mean, we have, their courthouse has, every single person that served up to the Persian Gulf War and beyond engraved on placards in there. I mean, it's just your everyday small town. And more handy, accessible trail. I'm sure we are confusing the older women.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell are they doing? We're professionals, maybe.
Yeah, we are professional crime watchers.
Yeah. Not doers.
No, not doers.
We can't run fast enough.
We can. This will be the slowest chase in history.
Slower than the Bronco chase.
Stop! We're basically
Please
stopped.
Run a little bit faster. And you can see trails from where people who may not have homes right now can come up from the underpass. I mean, this is not a secure place by any means, but it's also beautiful out. And as a parent, before this happened, I would have no problem with my kids coming out and walking this, not walking Scary Death Bridge, but this bridge.
Yeah. I mean, here we are at the not scary bridge. Yeah. And this is the freeway. I mean, how far is it to the scary bridge?
I have never walked this. I've only seen people walk it, and I'm directionally challenged.
Okay, yeah. I'm not a big fan of geography to begin with, because once I'm indoors, I have no clue where everything is.
Well, to be fair, I think in a past life I led the Donner Party.
Oh.
So,
Yeah,
I'm just saying, don't listen to me.
I'm not comparing myself to Moses, but I would probably also be in the desert for 40 years, trying to get 15 miles.
You're like, Moses, where do we go? North is where I'm facing at all times, so...
Yeah, exactly. I'm going in the direction of my nose, which should be north, and for nose. Yeah. I have no clue where we are.
Neither do I. But I'm sure we're getting our steps in.
Yeah. If we are not back within an hour, send a search party.
Yeah.
Be careful with what kind of search party.
If I don't see at least one furry, I'm complaining. 2024.
Miller Park and Trailhead. You should have checked which direction is the danger bridge, the murder bridge.
Yeah, let me pull out my pocket computer and figure out where danger bridge is.
Soon we are into the shade. If you're writing something interesting, I can't try to. No. I'm holding a camera, talking and stumbling at the same time. This coordination thing is using most of my brain power. Okay. So, pointing you in the direction of the trail. And I mean, forest, paved trail. I mean, you can hear the freeway and cicadas, I guess. And this is a place where anybody could show up at any point in time. And this was February something,
Yes.
a day where nobody had to go to school, weather was good. There was a lot of people out here.
It was February 13th. You've seen the basic, all the things that kids can do in this town.
Yeah,
They can go to the Dairy Queen, they can go to the McDonald's, they can go to some of the little shops, but for the most part, this is where kids would go. And, you know, as a parent, you think, okay, well, it's a paved trail.
Yeah.
It's, you know, relatively well kept and it is a beautiful trail,
yeah,
but you never expect, but it is heavily wooded. And if you were a child
yeah,
not paying attention, there are so many places
yeah, sure, yeah, that it is.
where people could, and even for February, a lot of this foliage would be down. But two girls just enjoying a day off,
Yeah.
they're not going to look around. They're not going to be paying attention.
Oh,
Abby was trying to get Libby to go over Danger Death Bridge
yeah,
as a rite of passage, and she finally did it.
yeah,
And unfortunately, there was someone behind her.
yeah. And people claiming to see how the man on the bridge looks like, and oh, I see a resemblance with. No, you don't, because it's the same people who saw a resemblance with Logan.
Yeah.
It's the same people who saw a resemblance to.
Daniel Nation.
Yeah,
Which he does look a lot like the sketch. I mean,
yeah. So they have the sketch, which was deemed by the investigators as we no longer look for this guy
yes.
for years.
And the younger sketch was by someone who got a good look at the person when they were walking.
Yeah,
But by the probable cause affidavit, you can't tell if any of these people saw the same people.
no,
For all it was worth with the different descriptions, these were all the group coming together, coalescing at a, you know, at the spot where they knew that Abby and Libby were going to be.
yeah. And that, these are the eyewitnesses who also described a smart car, a PT Cruiser, and a 1962 car.
Was it a Corsair or
Yeah, something of the sort.
it was a C?
Yeah, it was.
Maybe?
I don't know. I don't remember. And the investigators in their affidavit says which are similar to a Ford Focus,
A black Ford Focus.
a black Ford Focus,
Yeah, it's
and it's
I'm not
also
gonna
a small SUV,
yes.
a PT Cruiser, and a smart car, which are all similar to a dark Ford Focus. I mean, it's so stupid.
It is, and it's just, it is a kind of eerie feeling knowing these are the last places. I mean, I guess I'm glad that Nick is here because this has seemed daunting to me as far as, look, I never knew Abby and Libby, but I had girls the same age, and it just hits you different when you're here, knowing that these girls were just no care in the world,
Yeah.
just wanting to, you know, be kids, do something a little dangerous, not a,
Yeah.
well, I mean, if we get to the bridge, because I have no internet, so
Okay.
in theory, the bridge is here somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere.
But
And I mean,
all I'm
one
looking
of-
for is people hiding in the shrubbery because I listen to way too much crime stuff.
well, there is a stream down there, so we should be
Yeah,
closing in on something at least.
yeah.
And I mean, as you said, no care in the world. One of them started dating a young boy who
Yeah.
may or may not have been a little too old for her.
A lot too old for her.
Yeah,
Look, as a mom, my 13-year-old comes home and tells me she's dating an 18-year-old.
yeah,
There's some force multipliers in a parent call.
yeah.
Mr. Mole holding me back as I'm a rabid terrier, like, "Arr." I do believe that is the creek they would have to go across.
Yeah. Now, in the spring, this creek is much higher.
Yes.
This is now a summer stream. And so you would have to imagine more or less, if I remember the images correctly, more or less up to the tree line.
Yeah.
I mean, we are talking about 4 feet more of water than you see here now.
And the absolutely heartbreaking thing is that the sister was in the group
Yeah,
that found the shoes. Thank God they didn't let her go to the crime scene.
yeah.
But she found her sibling's shoes on the other side of the creek.
Oh, a squirrel.
That's who did it. We
Yeah,
caught him.
there it is, the murder squirrel.
We don't have ADHD.
No. There's nothing in the spectrum here. And it was actually a squirrel this time, not a figure of speech.
Yeah.
So,
But it's the juxtaposition of
Yeah.
this beautiful, nice, wonderful place that you think you could take your family.
yeah.
And the terror that had to be going through those girls' minds
Mm.
at the end. And it just, evil doesn't need a reason. We want it to have a reason.
Yeah,
We want it to make sense, but sometimes it doesn't. And that's why I think people have gotten so passionate about this case. They
Yeah.
see themselves, they see their kids.
yeah,
And just because we don't think that the investigation shows that Richard Allen is the person that did it, doesn't mean we don't want these monsters caught.
yeah,
And if I could, send them to Lord Chippy, but allegedly Minecraft.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, if the investigation had been at least somewhat decently done,
Yes.
and they at least admitted, yeah, we screwed up.
I would be okay with that.
Yeah.
It's the straight-faced lying. The fact
Yeah,
I have never been more mad than the day I learned that they had the subpoenas for those phones 3 days after
yeah,
and did nothing. Because
Yeah.
to me, that was a betrayal of all of the trust that we put in these people to find justice for these girls.
yeah. And then they didn't re-interview the main other persons of interest until 7 years later.
And they kicked out the FBI.
Yeah.
The FBI was not dealing with this, lone person. They were going on the Odinist thing.
Yeah,
And according to the professor that they talked to, he said it absolutely looked ritualistic.
yeah. And I mean, as I said earlier, I've seen the crime scene photos. Sticks do not land like that randomly. They simply don't.
No. And I mean, this is a quiet time now, but if you imagine it with less foliage, sound is going to carry. This is a high risk area to take
Yeah.
2 girls.
Yeah.
You have to control 2 of them. You have to keep them quiet. You have to keep them from screaming out. You
Yeah.
don't know when another person's coming unless you have lookouts.
Yeah, and this what happened in February. There were no leaves on any trees. There were good
The memorial.
Yeah,
And it is really eerie, and I do want to pay respect for the girls.
Yeah.
It's such a sad loss. I pray for the families.
yeah.
Or maybe that's something else.
I don't know.
Oh, this is the nature reserve.
Oh, okay, nature reserve.
Let me see if that sign says that there's the bridge over here.
Mm.
Or we might be able to see it. Trying to figure out.
Let's try the paved road
Yeah,
this time.
again,
If it's on the map,
true.
it's probably because it's paved.
Very true. But this might be the trail that other people took.
Yeah, it might be.
Welcome to Workouts and Crime. Walking Crime with Mo and Nick.
Yeah, I mean, Richard Simmons just died. Let's take over. Or what's his face?
Yeah, I don't know that I could pull off that wig. It might be cultural appropriation. And those shorty shorts. I'd have to wear those leggings or tights that the
Nobody wants to see my legs in shorty shorts.
drunk Nick will disagree, and you're going to end up with some biker shorts from the 80s.
There's only one man in history who looked good in shorty shorts, and that's Lemmy from Motorhead.
True. Didn't Bon Jovi wear his sister's shorts for
Yeah.
one of his... God, the 80s were weird.
Ah, it was amazing.
True, but shockingly weird.
Yeah, it was. It was. I mean,
My childhood brought to me by the art of Jim Henson. So if that wasn't a Colombian nose power.
222. We were back where we went off trail. It's just like our streams, but this time the off trail was a bit more physical.
True. Maybe if we go off stream and we have to walk, we'll start staying on topic.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll both get. I've got a walking pad. You get a walking pad, and then we'll both stay on track. So I haven't figured out how to do the walking pad without it shaking the camera. So
I have one of these stationary bicycles.
I want to get one of those, but I have to be careful with kind of the movements. All right, so we're back on the.
Hey, we're back on the paved road, or the paved trail. Let's see if we are luckier this time. It's good that it is shade, but it doesn't really matter because. Did you bring any survival food?
No.
No, me neither. So, anybody near the Delphi monotrail, send beer.
Send a young feral to cart me. They've got energy.
Yeah, Mo is still here. Nick, you could be flannel shirt guy, FSG, be careful. Oh.
Ooh, the plot thickens.
The plot thickens.
I
have an alibi.
That's going to matter to Delphi cops.
No, yeah, sure.
Alibi? I heard him confess 78 times. By who? In my head.
Let's lock him up for 2 years. Starve him. Feed him unknown drugs. Oh, he confessed. Yeah.
And his family put pictures of his daughter up.
Yeah.
And that's the grossness part of true crime. I think look, victims and perpetrators' families, you can raise a kid all right and they still go on to do hideous things. A lot of the defendants' families who don't make excuses for them are hurting just as much as the victims' families. And to plaster her picture up, his daughter.
Yeah, that was real bad.
That's a step too far for me. And I don't want to judge other people's morals, but I think that's a step too far.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same as with the Rex Hoyman case.
Yes.
I mean, I can understand the wife, but the daughter. I mean, seriously, held a big press conference about that his daughter is weird. I mean,
have you seen
and the cops.
Shrek?
Yeah.
I mean, he's a weird dude. He would raise a weird daughter.
Yeah. And the cops, all the investigators, the FBI says, no, we checked every turn, everything. No, not involved.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say the Hoyman daughter has a real good case for defamation.
Yeah, and it's not like it's so some perpetrators' children, like the BTK daughter, go on to make a sort of semi-cottage industry out of it. I don't know how I feel about that. But I mean, imagine living with someone for years and not knowing he was, serially unaliving people.
Yeah. Oh, look, there's something. That was quite close. If we have stayed on the paved, very comfortable trail.
I told you not to listen to me directionally. I take no responsibility in the year 2024. I'm a lady. I get away with it.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do.
Not much, but...
Yeah, it's a bridge.
Yeah.
of sorts. Let's point the camera that direction.
Looks like it might be an
But see,
overlook.
it looks like guardrail. Oh, it's gated. So this might actually be the last known place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but again, this is a random Monday. We know there are people around because people parked.
Yes.
You can hear the main road. I mean, there are houses not that far off.
Yeah. It's a place where you wouldn't think anything's going to happen. You're so close, you can hear civilization.
Yeah,
And that's a sad thought that you think is these girls could hear the help they couldn't get.
yeah, probably.
Warning, under Indiana state law, an algorithm provided
Agritourism provider is not liable for an injury to or the end of a participant in agritourism activities in this location.
Oh.
Which is bird watching
Yes.
and stuff.
Yep, this is. We were on the right track in the first place.
Yep.
Never listen to Mo for directions. The theory pans out. I love glistening into my eyeball. That's always fun.
I have titty sweat.
Well, me too, but I wasn't going to tell the world. But
It's funnier when I have.
true. I'm glad that they updated
Yeah,
this bit.
this bit. Yes, but up here is
I mean, this would be something that my boys, okay, a couple of them,
yeah,
okay, just one of them.
yeah,
Let's be honest, just one.
yeah. So folks, here it is.
And you can only go one way at a time. It was kind of a general sort of unwritten rule that you would let either people going one way or the other go all the way through before you would walk with them.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be unusual for someone to walk behind you in the same direction.
Mm.
So the girls probably didn't think anything until he said something at the end.
Yeah.
Because, quite frankly, I wouldn't be paying attention to anything but trying not to fall to my
Yeah. I mean, it
Or
is.
crawling. I would be crawling. Mo's a baby.
Most of these are quite rotten. Now it is on steel beams. But yeah, would I have done this as 10-year-old? Yeah.
Hell no. I was born 47. Like, you're all gonna die.
Well, the reason I know I would have done it is because we have kind of these rail tracks back, decommissioned rail tracks back home where I grew up, and yeah, we walked them.
I can imagine a young Nick.
Yeah.
Little shorter beard. I just imagine you born with a beard.
Yeah, more or less.
Like the troll, or not the dwarves in Lord of the
Yeah.
Rings.
Yeah.
The women just have shorter beards.
Yeah. But 7.5 years ago, in February of 2017,
Yep.
Abby and Libby walked down this trail
And didn't come home.
and didn't come home.
And in the quiet, it's just so much more real. Not
Yeah.
that it wasn't real before, but it's just,
Yeah.
it's a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, I can picture people going over, and they probably have done so for decades
Yeah.
in this little town. So nothing unusual, except these girls never made it home.
Yeah. And just knowing that, a little bit further, again, you can hear the cars.
Yeah,
You know other people are out here. If something bad happens to you, you assume that someone's
yeah.
going to be able to help you because it's not far from
Mm,
everything. They had cell phones. They probably felt invincible.
yeah.
And to go from, Libby, her first time actually being brave enough to go across this, rite of
Mm,
passage, with her friend cheering her on, taking pictures,
yeah.
probably was going to tape them to their wall like my kids do
Mm,
with their, snaps and stuff. And then to just have all of that snuffed out.
yeah.
And I think sometimes when you're close to the case, you can kind of forget the humanity. But it was good to come out here with you. And I think
Yeah.
remember that these were two real girls. These were, not that you forget that, but
Mm,
it's so much more real here.
yeah. And I mean, I've been covering this case also, one of these cases. Now, you've been covering it for longer than I have. But for me, my picture of this was really, really secluded. And it's literally a 4-minute drive from the sheriff's office.
Yeah, and that's what you don't get because I've reported on how small Delphi is,
Yeah.
but until you actually see how close everything is, and still hear the traffic,
Yeah.
and still, there are people walking up behind us. I
Yeah.
mean, again, you don't think about
Yeah, I mean, there's
just
I won't film them, but there are
yeah,
3 people. I mean, we've just been here just a few minutes,
yeah.
and
So
there are more people.
and there's the river down below. I mean, it's just
Yeah,
incredibly humbling to be here. I
yeah,
guess.
yeah, yeah.
That's quite a walk back in here.
Yeah, good choice with a sports jacket.
Yeah, I took the wrong way. I was like, don't listen to me for directions.
I went the other way.
Oh, the nature trail?
Ah,
So did we. We turned back.